Welcome back, guys. If you're new to my videos, I had recently, a couple years ago, remodeled this classic 1983 Coachman travel trailer. Only this winter I discovered a ton of major water damage, had to completely tear it apart. So this is the recent video that I had recently posted, and from there, this will be the final conclusion of buttoning everything up after repairing all that major water damage. So after I got done reframing and covering and sealing up the roof, and then buttoning up the exterior of the camper, I had to build new walls on the inside. So I got new paneling, cut out pieces, and used wood filler kind of like it was a joint compound. I don't know if it was the right move or not, but it's the way I went about it. So I'm showing you that here. I did not show you the process because it was pretty boring stuff. I did do a pretty poor job there inside that cabinet, but I'm not concerned because it is a cabinet. Up in the edges of the corners, I'm showing some of the trim work that is in there, and that was all painted blue with the original process. And I am pretty sure at this point I'm going to tear that out and then caulk the seams and caulk the corners. My next line of work that I'm going to get started on here in a minute, I still, because I was patching that stuff, have not torn out the floor down here where this heater was. So I want to get that out and replace all that, just because, you know, we experienced on the outside of this camper that water damage that went over to here. So I'm going to get started on that now. Okay, as you can see, I'm sweaty, I'm hot, and I'm out of breath. This has not been fun, but I'm going to pop in for a little status update for you real quick, and then I'm going to get back to work. I really, at one point, was about to just be like, screw it, like, just cover this up. Don't even bother. And then I stopped myself. I was like, nope. One hard day's work. You know, I'm trying to do my best to fix this guy up. And I'd rather have this cleaned out. Now, it probably continues a little bit back towards the bathroom. Just gonna have to be, this is as good as it gets for me. Working between that hole, this hole, and this hole, reaching in there. Want to see a reenactment? Here's a reenactment of what this has looked like. Now keep in mind I wasn't holding the camera, so that part's awesome. I just pulled that off too. Whew. Anyways, yeah, here we are. Reaching, and it's like, I hate you, just you suck. And feet in the air like that, you know, kicking, because there's not enough room. And reaching here, and reaching in there, and trying to use like 6 different pry bars, trying to use my that guy right there, my oscillating tool with the cutting attachments on it. There burning, it smells like burnt wood everywhere. It's good times. So yeah, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. Remodel a camper to fix water damage. You can have this fun too. I mean, I could be playing video games right now, right? Okay, guys, this is where I'm at. This is as good as we're getting today. This is where I'm finishing. You know, wasn't perfect around the edges, getting everything out of there, not up to the front here. I'll say that this that last step I was using with my oscillating tool with the scraper right here, it became very clear. It was more rigid, harder to pull up, a lot drier. I feel like that's roughly, you know, right here, roughly where, try to get my finger in the shot, right along here is roughly where that water line coming inward was. And I feel like even on that metal, you can kind of see a little darker back there, and then getting a little lighter here. Probably is still a little bit of water damage that traveled up underneath the bathroom area, a little bit, but this is as far as I'm going with it. You can see the recent repair to the exterior there. You know, everything's coming together. Hopefully this thing holds together and doesn't just fall apart driving down the road. I don't think it will. I'm kind of being facetious there. But
This is as far as I can go. This is as far as I'm going to go. Right now, last step I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this mold control. So as soon as I turn off this camera, spray mold control, that product right there, around in this whole area, and I'm done for today. Leave this, let it air out, let it dry out. What's going on here or not. Let me take a step back. Lovely, huh? This will just sit right here because I don't care how sloppy that is. It's flooring because we have this little piece. This is, I didn't build this. This was in the camper when I moved in, or when I bought it. This little piece is where I'll finagle that in, slide it in right there. And to keep it level, I guess, and the furnace to fit right on that lip, the furnace sits right on there. So this goofy flooring that you might be judging, or you might not, you might be like, yeah, I'd be right there with you. Not worried about it. Plenty of that insulation, plenty of that spray expanding foam. Yeah, so little glue, nothing's nailed. Sit this down, secure the furnace in on the walls here, on the exterior walls, and we'll call that a wrap. So I must be tiny bit elevated from the original floor. I mean, really, it's just about getting that lip, that tiniest of margins to fit. There we go. Okay. I think this is what's keeping me at the moment. Once I can get that, I should be good. I move that. You see the wiggle now. I believe, like I think I'm inside that framing. I believe I can go back in and just slide that right into position now, I think. And so I may have to piece things just right. Actually, hey, how often does that work out like that? Wow, that's pretty much everything. That's where we're at these days with these things, is they seal them up with butyl tape. So, all right, am I gonna be able to grab wood and get this to get nice and tight again? I hope I am. Try and go right back into the exact same screw holes I had before is what I was thinking. All right, so we're about to find out if everything's hooked back up right. First thing I'm going to show you is I talked about that leak detector. So I didn't buy it off Amazon. I bought it at that local RV supply store, and I already put some on. And I do need to tighten that. I see air bubbles. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hang on, let me see if I can change the angle. Oh yeah, I do need to tighten it. Absolutely. So, see, I thought I had it pretty good. So I'm gonna work on that. You hear the blower going. I'm gonna find out if the furnace is working right now. I have, even though it's like 75, I turned this up to like all the way to 90. It's been quite a while since it's been used. It's just blowing air right now. I don't know, but let's get this guy tightened for sure. Yeah, got the exhaust or the duct work connected with some clamps, hose clamps, hooked up the wiring, hooked up that right there. I think it was just an air in the line problem. I looked through the instructions again, and I remember why I didn't feel like I needed to. This is an automatic igniting furnace, even though it's an older propane furnace from the 80s, all I have to do is turn it to on with the gas here, and then set the thermostat. Turn the thermostat on and turn up the temp. So blower kicked in, took me a second, and then I heard that whoosh of the pilot lighting. I can actually kind of smell, you know, smell that propane smell right now, and I can feel heat here. I'm not going to get my, you know, heat gun out for you guys just for that. Just trust me, I'm not lying to you on that. So now I've done this twice. The last time I did not see anything. You guys were with me. Last thing I just want to do is, again, go ahead and check this coupling. I'm not seeing any bubbles in there. I feel pretty comfortable with that.
I'll just sit outside on the concrete.
Okay.
Whoa! That is rocky.
Camper's still a mess, but hey, the furnace is back together. I always feel like I don't have enough on there, and then you give it a wipe and it pulls away a bunch, and then it's like too much. All right, we'll try on the next strip to be a little more sparing, and we'll see how this goes. Good golly, I just gotta get this mess cleaned up first though. Okay. It's my intent to hide these wires, intentionally hide them in this caulk. I have no idea how this is going to work out. All right, wish me luck. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I feel like I should have stapled it in place or something first. I kind of know that, but I didn't do it. Okay. Not perfect by any means. I almost feel like I've got myself a YouTube hack going on here. Worked out okay. And you know what? Getting ready to, you know, do the ceiling, caulk the corners where I've been fixing that. I bet I could turn this tip that way. Is it even okay for this cleanup? Seems like, at least thus far. Well, I say that and then I just got caulk all over the floor. I'm gonna live with that. That's what that corner's looking like again. I'm gonna touch up all this chipped up paint. All right, I guess it's time to get this thing hooked up, right? This was, if you recall, I had to cut them when we were replacing the floor, like right where I'm standing, from the water damage. Otherwise, there'd be no, this would be a straight line. There'd be no need, nothing going on there. I'm real tempted. I'd love to put my inline fuse here. I think this would be a good spot for it. However, not that everything is to code in these old ones or whatever, or what is code for a camper, but if you were to be professionally doing this, an inline fuse is going to be within 1 foot of your battery. I do think that also, generally, your battery is going to be in a garage compartment. You know, we're talking newer campers probably. I felt like I could either just do what I wanted, which would be right here, or on the outside by the battery. I'm going to go with on the outside by the battery because this is reasonable to get to, but not like super easy if I ever needed to pull that fuse for some reason. I don't know. I figure it'll be easier to get to on the exterior. Hopefully I don't regret that. I guess if I do later, I could always just, you know, redo it. I could put it on right here and, you know, put new wiring on the exterior. So for now, this is what I'm doing. Just gonna do this here and then put that fuse on the outside. Now I'm just gonna try to seal this up from the inside, and then I'm gonna try to seal it up from the outside, just using caulk, whatever, you know, a little makeshift cover. All right, now it's time to head outside. Oh, man, I just love getting rust in my eyeballs. That's fun. Hey, I got it. I can't believe I got it. To tell you the truth, I did not think I was gonna get it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and again try, although I'm caulking up, try to just seal this upward. So it's covered in caulk now, but that red plastic ring, I made it go around the outer edge of, you know, this kind of stuff. So these are our two wires. They were on the outside of that. That's how they came through. It's how I got them pushed through. I wasn't going to keep trying back and forth, but I was able to get that red collar around the outside edge of it. So it's not rubbing against the metal of the floor of the camper. And then I, as you see, caulked the heck out of it. Between that combo, I'm trying to do two things. One, keep that hole sealed up a little bit so I don't invite bugs and stuff inside. Two, and rain as well. And then two, I'm trying to keep that wiring from rubbing up against the metal and shorting out. I do believe that plastic collar, I don't think it's going to come out, especially with the caulk in there. I know driving down the road, we'll see what happens, I guess. But it's in there pretty tight. I think we're okay. I guess we'll find out what happens, you know. All right, moving forward. Now I'm going to take some of this flex tubing and just try to feed it from what's on the exterior, just to protect it. And there is nothing left to do but hook this up and see if it paid off, see if this worked.
It did not work. I didn't know why, but it wasn't working, so I decided to move to the next small project I had.
The reality is I could peel the entire paint off of this camper if I wanted to. I have to find somewhere to stop. So these edges, like I try to get where it wasn't super easily coming off, but I could keep scraping and I could literally take this entire thing off. I have to patch what I can and just leave the rest, you know what I mean? Next, I just got some dish soap, soapy water. Just gonna wipe that sanding dust and dirt and stuff off the area. While I'm letting that soapy area dry, I was like, oh, okay, let me come back to this for a couple minutes and troubleshoot why that propane leak detector isn't working. And I was thinking it was connections. Maybe I didn't get a good solder or something. As I was getting ready to take these off the battery, I realized I got tunnel vision yesterday, and I put the red, which should be positive, on the negative, and vice versa for that. So I swapped them. I've only hand tightened those because I don't generally leave my battery connected just because I don't want to drain it. Swapped them. Came over here, and I saw the countdown going on. So that means it's working. We'll do a simple little test of this. I'm not very familiar with it because I've owned it for a couple years and not had it hooked up other than direct wired to the battery that one time. Test button. So that's good to go. All right, this is straight from, maybe not Walmart, it might have been like Meijer, but a store like that, something like that. It's a self-etching primer. Etching basically means, to my understanding, this is the layman's dumbed down version. It's kind of like a acidic paint, or primer rather. It's not a paint. So it will, not only does the scuffing this, you know, help the adhesion to the surface. But this particular primer, this type of primer, it's for automotives. It'll kind of like, you know, like I said, the high acidity will kind of get into that surface and help adhere. So I've used it on patching on the back of this before, where I had some of this, you know, scraped off paint start to run away from me, and those areas seem better than the rest of the camper. I'm sure you can buy not spray cans of this, but like, you know, jugs of it, gallons of it, quarts of it, whatever, pints, etc. And if I were to repaint this thing and put all that effort into it, along with scorching and scuffing the entire surface, along with cleaning it with dish soap and kind of getting rid of all the dust on it, I would use a self-etching primer, an automotive primer. And then perhaps that super paint from Sherwin-Williams would adhere. It's not automotive paint, but so maybe that would have worked. Really, it was more about the prep, I believe. Either way, whatever, I'm rambling. Let's go ahead and apply this. Of course, I threw my mask that I was just wearing away. At least I am outside. I should be wearing a mask right now. I'm upwind too, so it's all blowing away from me. But yeah, don't do like I do. Just don't be like me. This right here is the largest chunk that I'm touching up. That looks way off right now, but this is the exact same can of paint. It should dry and match. I certainly hope so. All right, just to show you real quick, you know, you can still see it's all wet and it's not perfect, but it's, when it started to go on, it was super clashy. It was a much different shade. So it's blending in as it dries. Looks pretty good again from far. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay guys, I'm considering that second go around of remodel complete, and so I wanted to show you the final results of everything. So I just want to show you guys, you know, everything after all this remodel. You can see a little patch in the ceiling there, new wall. You can barely tell that I, you know, can't really tell that I had this whole corner torn out, the floor torn out, the side of the camper off, and all that stuff. Can't tell I had to take out the furnace and tear that floor out. Everything's back pretty good shape. Tell you guys, we just went camping this weekend and everything worked great. Did not need the furnace or the AC. The temperature was amazing outside, but the water heater worked. Our new propane leak detector was working just fine. I mean, it had a green light. I guess I can't tell you because we weren't leaking any propane. Bathroom I haven't shown you guys in quite a while. I did that stick-on tile wallpaper. And yes, the format of this bathroom, like, it screws into the corner there, but it's held up really well. You do see a little bit of wrinkle right up here, but you know, because of it screwing in, it's staying up. See a little bit of wrinkle up here. But I mean, again, this thing in the wintertime, it's been down to like 0 degrees, -10 degrees out here. In the summertime, it's been 100 degrees. I've had it for 2 years with this wallpaper in, and it's stayed really good. I'm like, I can live with the fact that like a little bit of wrinkle in the corner. Everything's working just fine in the bathroom. Grant you, the bedroom, the mattress kind of hides the work that I did previously in here, but it's all nice and tidy. I mean, this thing's in good shape. And so with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the journey of this camper remodel.